Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching me from. Welcome to today's online conversation. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Um, we're going to start in a moment. We're going to wait for some more persons to join in the conversation. So we're going to be waiting for some more persons to join. Then we'll kick off this conversation for this month. Yeah. So let's just be patient. Today's conversation is going to be a beautiful one. It's going to be an amazing conversation. So we're going to be starting in a minute. So we just wait for some persons to join us. If you can see me, you can hear me. Can I get like a section? You can hear me. You can see me. You can hear me. Can you let me know in the comment section so that I know I'm not just talking to myself? This beautiful evening where I am. It can be afternoon where you are, morning. So if you can see me, you can hear me. Please, can you let me know so we can kick off this conversation? You can see me, you can hear me. Welcome to today's conversation. Yes, yes, the month of March is going to be ending tomorrow, right? Yeah, it's going to be ending tomorrow. So, welcome to today's conversation. You can see me, you can hear me. Can you let me know? We have had we just one conversation this year. This is the second conversation for the year, and it has been an amazing conversation. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching me from. Welcome, everyone. I'm still waiting to get to get a confirmation that you can hear me, so that we can kick off this conversation. I want to be sure that I'm not talking to myself, so that we don't start and I get the notification that no one can hear me. So please, you can see me, you can hear me. Can you drop a comment? Can you drop a comment in the comment section so that I can know you can see me and you can hear me? Thank you for joining in today. Thank you. It's going to be an educating conversation. It's going to be a conversation that's going to open our eyes to a lot of things. It's going to be a conversation that will set us on the right track as parents, and we're going to achieve our parenting goals, and we're going to meet our expectations as parents, and we're going to be raising children that become exceptional, become role model in their time, become lights in their generation. So if you can see me, I believe you can hear me. Yes, last month's conversation, we actually talked about family rituals, and it was something else. I remember in the community, that's the school of parenting community, we had this um, challenge, family rituals challenge, building stronger families, family meeting. So we had a family meeting challenge for 4 weeks. It was back to back activities and assignments. And I believe that parents that are engaged in those assignments saw the difference in their homes and in their lives. So I'm going to go straight into the conversation for today. Yes, we're going to be talking about affirmations. If you're here and you're ready, can you drop a comment so that I know that you're ready for this conversation? We're going to be talking about affirmations. Yes, we're going to be talking about the words that we speak. Very important, very vital. We're going to be talking about affirmations today. So I'm going to start. And today I'm going to be sharing a lot with you, both from the science aspects, so that you understand that when we talk about words, when we talk about affirmations, we're not just talking into the air. We're not just saying things that you just want to talk about. I'm going to be sharing a lot of science, a lot of scientific facts that proves that the words we speak out of our mouths, they're so important, not just to us, but to our children and to those around us. So it's very important that you are ready for this conversation. And if you're ready, can I see your emoji, your fire emoji? Tell me you're ready. You're ready to be set on fire and for you to start on this journey to achievement in your parenting work. Yeah. So affirmation. So let's go straight into this conversation because our time is already running. So why are we talking about words? You know, words matter. The words you say out of your mouth, they matter. What tell. You know what? Most of the times there are certain words that people have spoken to you, and probably your parents spoke to you years ago. They just refuse to leave your subconscious. There are people that in their lives today, there are certain words that parents spoke over their lives that tend to have brought them to the point they are today, that they find it very difficult to pull out of what the parents have said concerning them. So when they face certain things in life, the voice of their parents echoes in their mind, telling them certain things, either positive or negative. Words are important. The words we say to ourselves, the words we say to our children, the words we say to those around us, they are very important. In this conversation, we're going to be looking at the impact of words, not just on your children, but also on yourself. You know, parenting actually begins with you. It starts with you. What is the concept of yourself? What is your self concept? What do you think about yourself? What do you say to yourself as a parent? You know, when the words you speak to yourself as a parent, most likely you're going to translate those words to your children. So if you have the wrong mentality about who you are, the wrong mentality of what you can do, the wrong mentality of where you are headed, the wrong mentality of everything about your life, and you think negativity all the time, you think failure all the time, you think you amount to nothing as a parent, you know what that's going to do for what does that will do for your child. You're going to speak the same words into the life of your child. You're going to speak the same negativity into the lives of your children. You're going to speak the same things into the life of your children, and it's going to affect them. You're going to dump your negative emotions. You're going to dump your negative self-concept. You're going to dump your negative perception of life on your children, and you're going to do this by speaking words. So it actually begins with you. When we talk about affirmations, it starts with the parents. When Deologe says, Coach, when Deologe always says that parenting begins with you, the parent. So when we're talking about affirmations, it begins with you. What do you say to yourself as a parent? What thoughts do you think about yourself? When you wake up in the morning, what do you tell yourself? Do you tell yourself that, oh my God, I'm going to fail today? Oh my God, my life is just so miserable. What words do you speak out of your mouth as a parent? You know, when we raise children, our children are watching us. You say certain words about yourself and you say it around your children. You're wondering, now, how come my children pick these words? And your children begin to say certain words about themselves. And you're wondering, why do you say such words? Think. Probably they've heard it from you. Most times, maybe the words you've been speaking over your life, and unconsciously you have been declaring it over their lives, and they've adapted it. And they believe that that is their reality. So, as a parent, it starts with you. What do you say to yourself? What words do you believe? What concepts do you believe about yourself? It is very important. Now, our words are mirrors of how we feel or how we think. They said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So, out, your words are a mirror of what goes on inside of you. So, you cannot tell me that you have good thoughts when your words are always negative. You can't tell me that you don't have issues in there when your words are always contrary to the positive or always contrary to right words. So it begins from your thought pattern as a parent. And so it comes out as words, words to yourself and words to your children, even words to your spouse. Now, I heard someone say something that your words are spoken thoughts and your thoughts are unspoken words. So every day you are speaking something. So either you're speaking it verbally or you're speaking it in your mind. And one day it definitely comes out as words because whatsoever you say within, a day comes that you bring it out as a word that you speak. So you must hear it. What think about. Remember what I said in this conversation when I started it, that the impact, what we're going to be looking at in this conversation is the impact of words, not just only on our children, but on us as parents, but on those people around us, because parenting begins with us. When we think that we need to, okay, be conscious of the words we speak to our children, it begins from how you speak to yourself. It begins from what you think about yourself. You can't give to your child what you have not first consumed as a parent. Now, you don't say positive words about yourself. You don't speak right about yourself. You say everything negative about yourself. You are definitely not going to speak right to your child. You're definitely not going to speak positive words to your child. So it is very important that as parents, we are critical about the words we say to ourselves first and then to our children. Now, according to Andrew Newberg and Mark Warden, the authors of the book Words can change your brain. Yes, I quoted them and on the video for the first day of the month of March. They said something. They said that positive words can alter the expression of genes, strengthening areas in our frontal lobe and promoting the brain's cognitive functioning. Big words, right? Now, this is science. Now, by using more positive words in your home, parents can support the development of their child's healthy brain. Now, most of us are complaining, my child is dull, my child is this, and you keep saying it. You say it. My child is so dull. You are the one saying it. As you declare it, it shall be so unto you. And you keep saying this thing to the child. Don't you see your mates? You don't know anything. Don't you see your mates succeeding? Why are you where you are? And we keep saying these words. And they said, according to their research, that positive words spoken in the atmosphere of the home can help develop a child's healthy brain. And we think we're just saying those words. You know, most times as parents, we think that, okay, when you begin to say those words, you make the child feel bad. And when the child feels bad, the child is going to ginger up and do better. Well done. It doesn't always work that way. Most times you say those words to those children and they withdraw and they lose their confidence and they feel that, oh my God, I have nothing to offer. And they feel like, oh, I'm so dull. Even my parents think I am dull. So you think that you're trying to embarrass the child and make the child more motivated. But what you're doing, you are killing the confidence of that child. You are killing the moral, the self esteem of that child. And that child doesn't have a drive. And so the child takes the status quo or takes what you believe of them that you amount to nothing. Because that is actually what you're saying to that child. So your positive words in your home can help shape, can help develop the healthy brain of your children. Very important. Now, according to them, they also concluded that a single negative word can increase the activity of the amygdala, that is the fear center of the brain. And this releases dozens of stress producing hormones and neurotransmitters, which in turn interrupts our brain's function. Can you imagine what negative words do to your child's brain? You are confusing their brain. You are interrupting their brain functioning. You are making a mess of their mind. You are confusing, you're configuring them in the wrong direction. So your negative words, you think you're just playing with words. You think you're just saying words, and sometimes you laugh over it. But what you're doing is that you're configuring the brain of your child to think in a certain way, to believe in a certain way, to see life for themselves in a certain way. So it is that important that we talk about words. Very important. We must be careful what we say to our children. It says it interrupts their brain functioning. How have you your child's brain? What have you been filling their minds with? What have you been filling the brain of your child with? You are creating the reality that they will live in, except there is an intervention. So it's so important that we are careful what we say to our children. We are also careful what we say to ourselves. As parents, most of us have been shaped by the words of our parents. We're configured by the words of our parents. Some of us cannot break the lead. Some of us cannot go beyond a certain level because our parents told us that that is the level we would attain in life. And so we're finding it difficult to move past a certain limit. We're finding it difficult to break through some certain orders because we hear our parents' voice echoing. They've configured our brain, they've configured our mind to believe that this is who you are. This is how our family goes through. This is how our generation has always been. And you fell for it and you believed it and you are passing it on to your children. You are leaving a legacy of negative words for your children that they will live out and they find out that that becomes their reality. We must be conscious of the words we say. Now, your words to your child matters a lot. Your words to yourself matters a lot. I heard a quote by someone that said that watch the way you talk to yourself because you are listening. Yes, watch the way you speak to yourself because you are listening. Watch the way you speak to your child because your child is listening. So it is very important. Your words condition the brain of your child, conditions the way your child thinks. Now, your words to your child matter a whole lot. And you know, most times we think that we're just saying words, like I said, but actually you're actually abusing your child verbally. Now, when we say verbally abusing your child, it goes beyond always like insults. When somebody say you're an idiot, you're mad, or like they say worry Nigeria, you're crazy. Pardon me, that's speech in English. Now, it goes beyond insulting the child when you blame, when you label your child, when you just believe that this is who this child is, a good for nothing child. You have labeled that child. That is verbal abuse. When you criticize your child negatively, consistently, when you belittle your child, when you ridicule your child. Sometimes some parents see it as fun and they just bring their child on the table and begin to ridicule their child and they laugh over it. For goodness sake, it's not funny. You table your child and you ridicule your child with words. Do you know what you're doing to that child? You are creating a destiny, you are creating a life with your words. And you have a responsibility as a parent to be able to shape the destiny of your child with your words. And so we verbally abuse our children. And it goes beyond shouting and yelling. Like just say, oh, it's just shouting, it's just yelling. It goes beyond that. Sometimes it's just this quiet, this subtle, and this insidious way you do it. About the tone matters, the volume, the facial expression. And so you just keep saying words and bringing them out. And you're just good. You're just saying it. Superior say, my mouth not a wrong, no. My mouth not a close, no. My mouth not a go transfer. And you feel that you're hyping yourself. All you're doing is that you're degrading the moral, the self-esteem of your child. You're bringing your child down and you're creating an individual that you are launching out into the world. So we must be careful. Now, there's certain research on verbal abuse, and I said in this conversation, I'm going to be giving you facts. Yes, I'm going to give you facts so that you understand that what we're saying here today is very important. Now, the Albert University conducted a research, and they found out that verbal abuse can be as damaging as physical and sexual abuse. Oh. Most times parents are like, oh, when they talk about sexual abuse, say, hey, how did it not happen? And everybody's feeling, oh, God, what? This physical abuse. Oh, see the way the parent just flogged the child. Now, when you verbally abuse your child, when you belittle your child, when you label your child, when you shame your child, when you consistently criticize your child negatively, he said it's the same as physical and sexual abuse. So you must watch it when you begin to do these things to your children. Another research says something. Now we said when he said children who are verbally abused by adults can have the same level of trauma as soldiers who returned from the Iraq War with post-traumatic syndrome disorder. Can you imagine that? Children who are verbally abused. Now, let me say what verbally abused means again. I said it's beyond insulting your child. It's beyond telling your child, like some parents say, look at your big head. It's beyond telling your child that, oh, look at you. You are not. When you label, lead to your child, when you ridicule your child, yes, when you keep consistently criticizing your child negatively, the research says that those children, that their level of trauma is the same as those soldiers that came from the Iraq War that had post-traumatic syndrome disorder. The same thing with your child. So your child did not have to go for that war, but the same trauma those soldiers faced, that's the same trauma they are facing in your house. So your house has become a post-war zone. So we must be careful what we say. It is so important. You don't trivialize the words you say out of your mouth to yourself and to your children. It is that important. Now there's a lot of scientific revelations that talks about the importance of right words. A lot. Now, there's a research that was carried out by Words Matter, and they researched about 1,000 children, and they found out that toxic language, toxic words, negative words spoke over them led to sadness, led to depression, led to low confidence rate, led to low self-esteem, led to them being very anxious, anxiety. You find that your children are so jumpy. You find that your children are just in one corner and you're complaining, my child does not have a healthy self-esteem. My child does not have confidence. When you, as a parent, was supposed to be like cheerleading that child and helping that child to be able to believe in themselves, you kept heaping words on that child that made them felt they were nothing. Some of us as parents, we take our children, for example, for competitions. And when they go for these competitions, you're already giving them problem. Before the competition even starts, you yourself, you know the way you used to behave. You don't know how to talk in public. You're very shy. You better behave yourself. Bah. The child has not even gone for the competition. You're already watering down the esteem of the child with your words. We must be careful. And when the child goes up there, when the child finish, for example, now the child, the child comes, just look at the child and pick the child. And like, you see yourself, you cannot do anything good. After everything I have paid for you, you cannot even, oh, oh, that is not the way to behave as a parent. You must be able to pick up the esteem of that child, make the child feel that they've done something. Yes, every competition your child goes into, definitely they will not win. But there is a learning they get for every competition. And that is why you don't hinder them from going for those competitions. Because you are teaching them something. You're teaching them resilience. You're teaching them confidence. But when they fail or when they fall short, you're already giving them back backbones with words, left, right, center. And you find out that when the child refuses to go for another competition, you're wondering why. Your words already killed the confidence of that child. Your words already limited and capped what that child could do when it comes to public speaking or going for competitions. So we must be careful. And this research said that sadness, depression, low confidence, low self esteem, anxiety, the children become isolated, they become frightened because of toxic words, languages that were spoken to them. And in the study, it was found out that about two-thirds of the children said that there are 5 words they love to hear from their parents. And I'm going to say those 5 words. Now, I wonder how many of us even heard these words from our parents. I don't know if you had parents that when your dad just comes and you just hear the horn of your dad, you just say, oh my God, everybody's running because nobody wants to see daddy. Because next thing, they're raining words upon you, a lot of insults and a lot of abuses. And the children said that there are 5 words that they would like for people to speak to them. And number one is, I am proud of you. When last did you tell your child that? I am proud of you. My daughter, when she does some things, the next day she will look up to me and say, Mommy, are you proud of me? And I say, Yes, I every child affirmation. Even as adults, you need affirmation. Don't you feel good when people tell you, like, I am proud of you? What you just did, I am proud of you. You feel so good with yourself. That is the way your child needs that affirmation. And she just says, Mommy, are you proud of me? And I just smile and say, Yes, my love, I am proud of you. So the children said they love to hear that. I am proud of you. Tell your children that. It will boost their confidence. It will boost their self-esteem. It makes them feel that even if everybody's against me, my parents are for me. And they believe that what I am doing counts. The second word they said is that you can do it. You tell your child, you can do it. Even when you see that they are struggling, you keep encouraging them with the word, you can do it. It becomes a motivation to them. Now, I remember a scenario. I was trying to do something, and I saw my daughter. She was trying to pick the pegs from the line. And the line was a little bit high up there, and she was struggling to get the pegs. And she was looking so like devastated and so like defeated. And she was about to walk away. And I'm like, no, my dear, you can do it. You can get that peg. And she went back. She was still jumping and struggling to get the peg. I was looking at her. Now, I could have as well get up to go and get the pegs for her, but we're like, no, she should try harder. And before you know it, she got the peg. And she's like, Mom, I got the peg. So, as little as the word, you can do it, it boosts the confidence and pushes them to do more. So, when the child looks like, I've been trying. And you give the child a pat on the back. You can do it. You are motivating that child to greatness. Don't be the one that pushes the child away from the path of greatness. Definitely there are trials. Definitely there are times that they may not succeed. There are times that they may fall short or even fail. But you are there telling them, you can do it. Yes. So I hope we're enjoying this conversation. I can see Ito, and welcome to this conversation. I can just see those that dropped comments, please. Reverend Ego, thank you for joining this conversation. Please do share the link to your friends and family so they can join in the conversation. If you have questions, you can drop it on the comment section. If you have comments, you can drop it in the comment section. So we'll keep going on this conversation, and we're talking about affirmations. We're talking about words. We're talking about the power of words. You rule with your words. So let's continue. The third word is say. The research. Concluded that children said that they would love to hear is I believe in you. Higher. I believe in you. Do you know what that does to someone? As in, when somebody comes to you and tell you, I believe in you, it gives you hope. You feel that you can do anything. You feel that you can go anywhere. I believe in you. Sometimes the children, your child may not even put up, may not even look like even do what you are saying you believe in them. But you just say it, I believe in you. And it sinks into that child's mind. Ah, my father believes in me. My mom believes in me. It goes a long way. Now, the fourth word is, I am here for you. So they know that even when they fail, even when they fall short, they can come back to you and you're going to cuddle them and you're going to hold them and tell them that it's not the end of the world. You can try again. Not that they will feel that, hey, God, I cannot go home now. If I go home today, I am finished. And so instead of running towards you, they're running away from you. How are you certain that the person you're running to is actually the right fit for them, the person that can help them, the person that can tell them the right words? So you should become a safety point for your child. So you tell them, I am here for you. Some of our children cannot tell us anything. They can't even come to us when they're going through problems. Some of our children are neck deep into issues, mind-boggling issues that they cannot even tell us, addictions they can't even open their mouth to say to us, because over the years we've used words to finish them, we've used words to make them feel less, we've used words to drive them away. So when they're having issues, they prefer to die in the challenge than to come to you as a parent. That is an error. You should be a safety zone for your child. So you tell them, I am here for you. And the fifth one is, it's okay to make mistakes. You can learn from them. You don't kill your child for making mistake. As a parent, please, you're not infallible. There is this infallible mentality we believe, some parents believe, as a parent, you make mistakes. So why do you expect that your children will not make mistakes? And when they make mistakes, you bring down the roof. Like if they're the only one that make mistakes, don't you make mistakes? Or for example, a child breaks a plate and you're shouting, raining fire and grease to four plates that they broke mistakenly. And you as a parent, you can break a plate mistakenly. But we do not want to give them the allowance to make mistakes. They do not have the right to make mistakes. But as a parent, you have the right to make mistakes. That is not the right approach. So you should be able to tell them that it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes is part of the journey to success. It is what you do after you make a mistake that counts. Do you sit down there and keep lamenting, oh, I am finished? Or you get up and you continue on the journey. So you tell them it is okay to make mistakes, but after you make mistakes, learn from your mistakes and get up and keep moving. So those are the five words that about two-thirds of the children, the research about 1,000 children said that they would love to hear their parents and adults speak to them. So I'm going to go back to Dr. Andrew and Dr. Mark, the people that wrote the book, What Can Change Your Brain. And according to them, they said something else that was really striking. And they said, according to these two experts, they said that exercising positive thoughts and words can quite literally change one's reality. Because as you say it, you see it. You walk into the reality that your words create for you. Your children begins to walk into the reality that your words is creating for them until they get to the point that they begin to know that my words count, what I believe counts. But as you begin to speak words, you're creating a reality for them that they walk into. So they said by holding a positive and optimistic word in your mind, you stimulate the frontal lobe activity. Okay? This area includes specific language centers that connect directly to the motor cortex responsible for moving you into please. As their research shows, the longer you concentrate on positive words, the more you begin to affect other areas of the brain. So important. I can see Mrs. Towa says it is not easy. There is nothing that is actually easy in life. But one thing we need to do is to make the decision to take the right path and deliberately on a daily basis, begin to walk towards that right path that we want to take. And we begin to think about it, we begin to do it. Gradually, you find out that you begin to have changes. And it starts with you. When you begin to speak positive words over yourself, it becomes easy for you to begin to speak positive words over your children. So it starts, it's a process. We are all works in progress. So we don't get there overnight. Today you may start it and tomorrow you're gone back, but you don't beat yourself up. You get up and keep at the journey. So now, by exercising consistent positive speech, you not only change your self perception, but you change the perception you have of your children. You change the perception of those you have around us. Now, it's so important we take care of the words that we use on our children ourselves because it can traumatize them. Now, words are so powerful that, in fact, they can affect the way a person recovers from injury. Did you hear that one, Joseph? A medical research showed that when you use positive words for patients, that it can also help to improve the rate they get healed or they get well. That's the medical research. So when we're talking about words, using positive words, it spans all spheres of life. And so it's so important. Now, let me give you a story about someone. There's this lady that was called Wilma Rudolph. Now, Wilma Rudolph, when she was young, she had polio, she had scarlet fever, and she had double pneumonia, and she could not walk without the use of braces. One person. But do you know what happened to this girl? She said something. She said, "My doctor told me that I would never walk." Hmm? He said, "But my mom said otherwise, that I would." And she said, "I believe my mom." So my doctor told me I would never walk again. My mom said I would. I believe my mom. So the doctor, based on his facts, he could see now. Is it not? Don't you go to the hospital and the doctor does the diagnosis and sees the symptoms, and the doctor said, "My dear, you will never walk again." But her mother in the house told her, "You will walk." And she said, "I believe my mother." Do you know, with the help of her mother and her siblings, she finally stopped using braces at the age of 11. So she could walk properly at the age of 11. And she went ahead to be named as the fastest woman in the world after she won 3 gold medals and broke 3 world records in the Olympics, 1960 Olympic, 60s Olympic that held in Rome, Italy. Amazing. Because a mother chose to say otherwise. Because a mother chose to speak the right words over the life of her child. The mother saw the bruises, the mother saw the medical reports, but the mother said, "You will walk again." And the child went on to become a star, celebrated even in the world, and her name will never be wiped off from history because a mother dared to say the right words. What are you saying over the life of your children? It is so important. What words are you speaking over the life of your child? Now, said something really link, and he said, "Words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind." The most powerful drug used by mankind, he said, is words, are words. So the drug you need to heal your child of that rebellion, positive words, life-giving words. The words, the drug you need to set your child on the right path of good behavior, the drug of positive words. The drug you need to help your child to bounce back from mistakes and failure, the drug of positive words. The greatest and the most powerful drug that you can use as a man, that man can use, are words. What are you speaking today? What words are you using to shape the life of your child? You are creating something by your words. The word was framed by the word of God. So every time you are speaking, you are framing the word. Every time you're speaking, you are creating something in the life of your child. Either you're creating failure, or you're creating success, or you're creating a superstar, or you're creating I don't know. What are you creating? You will answer the question. Now, words generate good or bad emotions and promote actions that can lead to positive or negative behavior change. So sometimes we keep saying words and we think that as we keep saying it, the children, like I said, will feel bad and will turn away. And you're just worsening the situation. And the child just gets to a point like, that's what you think you think I am now. Hey, let me just be living the life like that for you now. So that is words you keep saying now. If you just keep saying the words, as you say it, you will see it. So let's be careful what we are saying with our mouths. And it's not just about you speaking the right words to yourself or speaking the right words to your children. It's about you speaking the right or teaching your children to be able to speak the right words to themselves. So you speak the right words to yourself, you speak right words to your children, and you teach them to speak the right words over their lives. Are we getting something for this conversation? If you're actually getting something from this conversation, can I get a weakness? Can I see you drop something in the comment section? Share the link to your friends. Yes, everybody needs to hear about this. This is so important. Words, 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 words. Who we are today, most of have been shaped by the words we heard people tell us, people say to us. Some of us are so demoralized. Some of us can have not achieved even up to what God wants us to do, not even half a quarter, because we have been told a lot of things about ourselves that are not true. We have been told a lot of things that are negative. We have been told a lot of things that are contrary to who God has actually made us to be. So share the link. Let me see your emoji. If you have questions, please do drop the questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Amarachi, Obiragwai. I can see you, Pastor Amarachi. Thank you for joining this conversation. So I said, teach your children to be able to speak the right words over themselves. And they don't have to be teenagers or preteens or adults before you start teaching them. Start teaching them from when they are even toddlers, when they can talk, when they can speak. Let them start speaking words. Let them start affirming themselves. It is so important because as you begin to train them in that direction, they grow with it. So it actually starts with making them understand who they are. They have to have the right sense of belief. They must believe right because right believing will produce right thoughts and right thoughts will produce right words. So you must teach them, first of all, who they are so they know that there is a certain way we speak. There's a certain way I should speak. There are certain words I should say over my life. So it's important to start teaching your children. But remember, you are the role model. You can't tell them to speak right and they always see you speak negative. You can't tell them to speak the right words. And every time, whatever comes out of your mouth is always the wrong words. They will copy you, they will speak it. And when you tell them, why are you talking like that? I say, mommy, that's what you said now. That's how you used to talk now. We're just trying to behave like you. So be the role model. It's very important. So let's talk about neuroplasticity. Now, let me tell you something about the brain. There's a way the brain works. Now, you can reorganize your brain. And one of the ways you can reorganize your brain is by using the right words. Now, neuroplasticity has to do with the brain creating the ability of the brain to be able to reorganize itself by forming new neuron pathways. So the brain has a way of changing its mind. Let me put it that way. The brain has a way of configuring itself. And you can do that by speaking the right words. So, for example, you have modeled your child to think that you amount to nothing. Do you know you can reconfigure the brain of that child by speaking? And as you begin to speak this word, that's in the subconsciousness of that child, and the brain begins to reconfigure and begins to develop new neural pathways in line with the word you were speaking and begins to speak that to the child's subconscious, and the child begins to believe and begins to walk in that direction. So positive self-talk acts as a catalyst for rewiring the brain to be more to a more constructive direction. So one of the ways you can rewire the brain of a child or even rewire your own brain is by positive words, positive steps. I just saw a comment by someone, and it says they can be very annoying sometimes. Oh God, that the children can be very annoying sometimes. As parents, you can be very annoying sometimes. But Samara, she supports it. Very, very annoying. Do you know you can be annoying sometimes? Yes. But that is why we should be able to accommodate. Parenting requires a lot of maturity, emotional maturity, physical maturity, spiritual maturity. Emotional intelligence comes into play. I think one of this our conversation, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence for parents. Is very important. It's very important. So, like I was saying, neuroplasticity. The brain has the power, the ability to reconfigure itself, to reorganize and point in another constructive direction. And one of the ways you can do it is by positive talk, positive self-talk, or positive speaking. It's very important. So by consistently engaging in positive self-talk, we can forge new neural pathways that favor optimism and resilience. Very important. Now, let me go straight now. The conversation is almost ending. Oh my God. So, affirmations. This conversation was tagged affirmations. I had to start from the way of positive talk and right talk. Now, I'm going to dwell on affirmations. What are affirmations? Affirmations has to do with positive words that you speak, positive words that you speak over yourself, that you speak over your children. Positive words that help you to deal with negative feelings, that helps you to deal with thoughts and situations. They are just right words, words of life that you speak over yourself, or you speak over your children, or your children speak over themselves. Those are affirmations. Now, affirmations work because of neuroplasticity, because the brain can reconfigure itself. Is it not beautiful? The brain can change configuration in the right direction. So it's very important. So why affirmations? So why should we affirm ourselves? Why should we affirm our children? Number one, it helps you as a parent and helps your children to reprogram your subconscious. So everything that you have dropped in there, you have dropped all the words and conscious. When you begin affirm yourself and affirm your children, you help reprogram their subconscious. And as the words get into their subconscious, the right words, the words of life, when they find themselves in terrible situations, the words spring out. And so they know that this is who I am. This is who I am. And it comes forth. And so they can go through those situations. Number two, why affirmations? It encourages you and your children to create a better posture for yourselves and themselves, to create a better perspective of who you are, to show you in reality that this is who you are. Now, words are like pencils. Yeah, I say words are like pencils that you use to draw on the canvas of your child's mind. So when you're speaking words, you're actually drawing something. You're actually creating something in the mind of your child. So what are you drawing? What have you been drawing? What painting have you been painting on the canvas of the mind of your child? So it's very important. So why do you have to affirm? It lowers your stress level. There are also researches that shows that when you use positive words, it reduces stress level, and negative words tend to increase. You remember what I said about the research conducted by Dr. Andrew and Dr. Mark, when they said that negative words can actually trigger the fear center of the brain and can lead to release of stress hormones, producing of stress hormones. So positive words can actually help reduce stress for yourself and for your children. Your children get stressed too. Now it can decrease worry, fear, and anxiety because you begin to speak those words. I am a success. I know that I succeed. I know that I'm going to get this contract. I know I'm the top of my class. I know I'm a superstar. You are the light of your word. You are an excellent driven child. You excel in all you do. You are the head and not the tail. You fulfill your purpose. And so the child can navigate through anxiety, can navigate through challenges. Now, why do you have to carry out affirmations? It also helps to improve your quality of your life. When you speak right words, your stress level drops, your quality of your life will increase a bit. Now, when you speak right words, we had a research, healing comes. And it was said that that is the most powerful drug of mankind. So healing comes. So your quality of your life will definitely increase and you will live longer. Now, what does affirmations do for us? It provides the feeling of optimism. Now, it looks like I am great. I rule the world. I stand upon my high places. I'm going to conquer the world. Yeah. It is from East Africa to the world. And I keep on saying these words. I am optimistic about what the future holds. And you speak into the life of your children and you make them optimistic about what the future holds. And they begin to speak over their lives and they begin to see the lights at the end of the tunnel. What are you saying to your children? Now, death and life lies in the power of the tongue. Whatever you say, you're going to rip it. You're going to take it out. You're going to take it back. Now, the words you speak, they are not ordinary. They are life. When you speak words, know that you are speaking life or you're speaking death. Now, your words can either harm or heal. Your words can either hurt or make someone great. So when you speak, you must be careful what you're saying. Now, I said today I'm going to go on the science way and I'm going to go on the other side. So either way, if you believe so much in science, I'm giving you scientific proofs. Now I'm going to go, yes. Now, there's a story that talks about Jacob. And Jacob used words and blessed one of his sons called what are their names? Oh my God. Is it Jacob? No, Esau and Jacob. Yes. Sorry, Isaac. Blessed one of his sons, Jacob, instead of his other son Esau. And when the other son came back and asked for the blessing, the father was telling this child that I have blessed your brother and he will surely be blessed. And you know what the blessing was? The blessing was words. He spoke words. So your words are that powerful that they become blessings to your children. And he said, he will definitely be blessed, for I have placed you and your brothers and his siblings as servants over him. He just said words. And to him, those words were blessings. Every parent must understand that you have a responsibility to bless your child. And blessings goes beyond physical materials. When you say, I have blessed my child, it's beyond the car you give to your child. It's beyond the house you have given to your child. The words you speak and release over the life of your child, they are blessings. Because they begin to shape the word of that child and they go ahead to prepare a beautiful destiny for that child. So he said, your brother is blessed because I have spoken words. Words. Your words are life. Speak life to your children. Words are seeds that are sown. And you remember when you sow seeds, you will definitely reap the harvest. So, what fruits have you been seeing? Probably it's the word you have been speaking over your children. That's why you have been seeing the fruits you have been seeing. Some days ago, I was walking down somewhere and I saw a lady and I was asking her about her. I saw her with one of her child and I was asking her, okay, what's the other one? And she pointed at the child and said, that one is very stubborn, very stubborn. And I laughed. And the person I was working with said that she just said that child is stubborn. Only she had just named that child as stubborn. And I laughed because now she has said it. And I'm sure that's how she says it in the house. You are sowing the seed of stubbornness. You are telling the child you are stubborn. And every day you say it, you are watering the seed. And you're watering the seed. And before you know, the seed begins to bear fruits. And you're not complaining that this fruit of stubbornness, I am tired. You have been watering that seed. You have been watering it. One of the ways you need to change is to speak the right words. Words are seeds that are sown. What seeds are you sowing in the life of your child? Very important. So, how to use affirmations? Are you still with me on this conversation, please? Are we still here? Or am I talking to myself? Are we still in the conversation? Are we still here? If you have questions, please do drop in the comment section. Let me know you're following. Let me know we're almost running up on this conversation. You can share the link of this conversation. So, how do you use affirmations? Number one, say the affirmations loud. Don't speak it in your mind. I know I said thoughts are unspoken words, but I want your words to come out. Say it out. I am great. I am successful. I prosper in all I do. So when you speak affirmations, you say your words out loud. Use the present tense, not I will be or I was. I am present tense. And as you keep saying it every day is in the now. You are saying it in the now. You are saying it in the now. So how do you use affirmations? Use the present tense. How do you use affirmations? Choose meaningful affirmations. Now you can decide to go home and write out your affirmations, what you want to say for yourself, or draft out what you want your children to be speaking over their lives on a daily basis. Or you can get affirmation cards. There are affirmation cards everywhere. And School of Parenting has an affirmation card. Yes, there's the SOP online. Yes, we have the 30 days affirmation cards, the pack of cards for one extra cards for the where you can write an affirmation by yourself. You can actually get these affirmation cards on Seller. It is seller.com slash SOP affirmation cards. So you can actually get these affirmation cards. It can help you. Now, sometimes we find it difficult to be able to do affirmation by ourselves. But if you have an affirmation card or a pack of affirmation cards, you can actually use those packs of affirmation cards to help you to be able to on a daily basis, affirm yourself and also teach your children on a daily basis to affirm themselves. Now, you can get these SOP affirmation cards. You can get it on Seller like I said, is seller.com hyphen SOP affirmation cards. So do well to pick it up. Now, my daughter, she does affirmation every morning before she goes to school. Now, when she's about to do the affirmation, sometimes she'll ask, like, Mommy, I've not read my affirmation cards today. So it's becoming a part of her daily routine. And that's how you create habits. You do it consistently. So it's very important. I just dropped the seller link for our affirmation cards on the comment section. So you can click on it and get the affirmation cards. Now, how do you use affirmations? You can, preferably, it said you should say them in the mornings. Why? Because when you say them in the mornings, you start your day with a dose of positivity. So there's so much dose of a lot of is that even like positiveness? So when you start with the affirmation in the morning, you have this, there's this ginger. So you have started your day on a high note, so much positive air everywhere. So you can start in the morning. It's very important. And your formations, you can keep your formations in places where you can see them so that you don't forget. You can place your affirmation on your mirror, you can place it next to your computer, you can place it on the wall, you can place it on your fridge, you can place it on your exercising equipment, you can place it where you can see. Like me, I have my affirmation on my mirror. Yeah. So when I go there, when you're gonna look at your face, you just see affirmation like, oh, oh, oh. Even I need to look pretty, I need to look pretty or make my environment and my day look pretty too. So I speak the words out. So it's very important. So put them where you can see it. Put them before your eyes so that you don't forget. It is very important. Very important. So I'm going to be wrapping up soon, and I'm just going to give you some examples of some persons that words spoken to them change their lives. Now, a lot of us celebrate Oprah Winfrey. Yes, we do that. But it said that when she went through challenging times in her life, even when her career was going through challenges, her father always kept encouraging her with encouraging words. And the father would say to her, "You get another chance." And he said that this sentiment became like a mantra that turned failure into one of the most successful media careers in history because a father decided to encourage a child. Now, there's someone else. So let me even ask us a question. Do you remember the words your parents spoke into your life? Can you remember vividly what kind of words your parents spoke into your life that have kept you till now? Are there words you cannot let go of? Can be positive or negative. Even if they are negative, it is time for you to let go of that word. You need to create your own perception of who you are. It doesn't matter how long they said those words over you, how long they reiterated those words and kept telling you. Define, you can reconfigure your brain. You can begin to create new neural pathways that change that we begin saying the right words. Now, how many of us we know Malala, right? The young activist then that was shot because she was speaking out for girl education in a community and the rest. And it was said that her father kept encouraging her with words, telling her that she should speak out and she should chase or keep going after education. In the midst of so much challenges, I was wondering, the father was encouraging the daughter, but that encouragement paid off because she could hear her father telling her, "You should go to school. You should be educated. You have a right to your voice. You cannot hide your voice." And he kept her true. And she became a renowned voice in the world and caused a change, not just in her life, but in the life of people. The impact of a parent's word over the life of a child. It went beyond the child and entered into generations and into the lives of others. Now, there are a lot of others. I will end with this person, Ellen Keeler. Now, I said she was blind and deaf. And her teacher, it was her teacher, and it's Sullivan, that kept encouraging her that she could become somebody, that she should believe in herself. So, if we have teachers here, you have a responsibility to speak words into the life of your students. Because as a teacher, you are a caregiver, you are a nurturer. It was a teacher that spoke encouraging words to her life. And see how she turned out. Great. So it is so important that we speak the right words to ourselves, to our children. I believe I've learned something today. Have you learned anything? I hope you have, because I believe that after, it's just not enough to learn, but to put it into practice. Now, definitely before the year runs out, or probably for the middle of the year, we're going to be running a rule with words challenge on the School of Parenting community. Yes, we have a community, yes, on WhatsApp. So we're going to be running a challenge, um, rule with words challenge, and it will be nice if you're part of that challenge. So if you want to be part of that challenge, you can join our School of Parenting community. You can join the community. Now, you can join the community by clicking on the link that's dropped right now. So you can join our community. We're going to have Rule with Words challenge, a 30 days challenge that's going to help us to reconfigure our brains and help us to put us on the right track to reconfigure the brains of our children. So it's going to coming up soon. You're going to see the flyers that will inform us, publicize when this challenge is going to be coming up. But if you want to be part of our community, you can click on the link that is right there in the comment section. If you want to get the affirmation cards, you can also click on the link that is on the comment section. So thank you everyone for joining me on this conversation. I believe it has been an amazing and a splendid one. Yes. So I appreciate you all for being here today, for giving your time. Please use the words you have heard today. That's what makes a difference. It's not enough to just hear the words. It's enough to pick something. Um, something would have been your aha moment today. There's something you'd have learned that you feel that this is what I need to do. You need to start doing it now. Don't procrastinate. Start today. It is so important. So I'll end with this. There's a quote by Dionysius, and it says, "Let thy speech be better than silence, or be silent." He said, "Let your speech be better than silence, or be silent." So it's better not to speak at all if you know that what you're going to say is going to be negative and it's going to bring someone down and it's going to be like an hindrance to the prosperity or to the betterment of someone. So it is better not to speak, it's better to be silent. And someone said something. He said, "We speak life or death, success or failure. All transformation starts with what comes out from our mouth." I'm going to say it again. We speak life or death, success or failure. All transformation starts with what comes from your mouth. So it's important that you begin transforming your life, transforming the life of your marriage, transforming the life of your business, transforming the life of your children by the words that you speak out of your mouth. The word was created by the word that came out of the mouth of God. Now you create your word by the word that you speak out of your mouth. So don't speak life and don't speak death. Speak business. So thank you all for joining me on this conversation. Keep a date with me the last Monday in April. We're going to be having another amazing conversation. And I believe you all will have something to share. Thank you so much, Pastor Marachi. Thank you, thank you. He said, "I've learned so much, so help me God," because the truth is that it's not easy at all when one spends most of the day yelling. Yes. And last thing I'm going to say, all of this I've said, you cannot do by your strength. You need to lean on the grace of God. You need to lean on the help of God. God strengthens us to do great and mighty things. With Him, all things are possible. So lean on Him, and He's going to give you the strength. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this conversation. It has been an amazing one, and I've been so happy. I've been so excited. I've been so elated having you join me on this conversation. Like I will always say, spend time with your family, create memories, because as Zig Ziglar said, to a child, love is spelled time. Have a beautiful night, a beautiful afternoon or morning, depending on where you're watching me from. Thank you, everyone. Bye. See you in April. Bye, everyone.